let's talk about credit card annual fees, because I think one thing holding back people applying for credit cards is the amount of credit card fees that they think is unwaivable. But today we're not talking about fee waiver credit cards. I'm going to go direct to tackle the question to go for credit cards that don't even have any annual fees. Because the thing about credit card annual fees is that although a lot of the credit cards you can call in or message in for a waiver, it becomes a hassle year after year. And imagine if you have like over 20 credit cards to waive the annual fees over the years, I think it's a little bit inconvenient. So today I'm going to share 5 credit cards that really have zero annual fees. No conditions, no spend requirements, no need to call in, no need to message customer service. And each of these cards actually have their own advantages as well. So let's go to our first credit card, which is Trust Cashback Credit Card. Now, the highlight benefit of Trust Cashback Credit Card is the 15% cashback. Now, it sounds like a really high number, but of course, there are the terms and conditions and the requirements to get this high number. Firstly, what are the main key points of Trust Cashback Credit Card is that it has zero annual fees. It also has zero FX fees. And the base cashback rate is 1% cashback on local spend. So it's probably good as a cash or general spending credit card if you like the 1% cashback. But the highlight benefit is that you get to select one preferred category and you can earn up to 15% cashback. The following categories are dining, shopping, travel, wellness, transport, and entertainment. And there's a cashback cap of $250 per quarter. Now, there is also a spend requirement that you have to make consistently $2,000 of spend every month for that quarter. So if you do a reverse calculation, $250 of cashback cap at 15% cashback rate, if you use 250 divided by 15%, you will get $1,667 of spend. That is the optimized spend level on your preferred category. Then the remaining $333 you can spend it on other eligible categories just for you to hit it at the $2,000 minimum spend. Now, Trust Cashback Credit Card also undergone quite a major nerf this year in 2026 because they removed the $1,000 spending tier, and at the same time, they also reduced the 1% FX spending cashback to 0.5%. So eventually they half it. So it's like 0.5% cashback on foreign currency spend with no minimum fee and no FX fees. I think it still makes sense, but are there any better credit cards for this kind of foreign currency spend? Of course, yes, we'll take a look later. So if you're someone who uses Trust Cashback Credit Card, I think you will be someone who can consistently spend at least $2,000 in that preferred category to earn that 15% headline cashback rate. Of course, the effective cashback is much lower than that because of the $250 cashback cap. So that is for Trust Cashback Credit Card. And if you're new here, my name is Chris, your next chartered accountant, now a personal finance YouTuber. And you can follow me on Instagram as well because I only have 4,000 followers there. So thank you to all those who have followed. And we move on to our credit card number 2. And that is Mari Credit Card. So Mari Credit Card is going to be the simplest credit card on this list because there's really not much conditions and really minimal fees. We're talking about zero annual fees, we're talking about zero FX fees, and even the headline cashback rate is 1.5%. So to be more specific, if we talk about no annual fees, you don't even need to call in and ask for a waiver. So that's one good point. The other good point is that there's no FX fees because normal credit cards for overseas transactions, they will charge like a 3.25% FX fee. So Mari Credit Card doesn't do that anymore since this year. And the other fact is that they have 1.5% cashback, whether on local spend or foreign currency spend. So that's a tad higher than what Trust Cashback Card is offering, right? Both on local and the overseas spend. But note that this 1.5% cashback is capped at the first $1,500 of spend for overseas spend category. Okay, so this is the hard cap for overseas foreign currency spend. And also, this is a limited time promotion until December 2026 this year. So whether they will extend this promotion from next year onwards, you will need to wait and see. So to me, Mari Credit Card is quite a strong card for everyday spenders. Like if you really don't want to look at the merchant category codes, you just want to use one single credit card, whether for your local spend or overseas spend, you don't need to think too much, or you just want to delegate to your family members without them having to read all the terms and conditions, Mari Credit Card is the one that I would go for. And if you want a deeper dive video, I actually did one video for Mari Credit Card, which you can refer to in the description link as well. So I'll put it out there if you want to refer for more education. Now we move on to our third credit card with no annual fees, and that is HSBC Revolution Card. So HSBC Revolution Card is going to be the highest miles earning card or points earning card on this list. because the headline rate is that you can earn 10x points or 4 miles per dollar on selected online and contactless spend. And the good news is that they do not charge any annual fees for this card anymore. So there's no need to call in for waiver or request customer service as well, which is quite rare for miles and points earning credit cards in Singapore. So I think that's a good point. So here are the selected categories that will earn you 10x points or 4 miles per dollar. We are looking at travel, department and retail stores, dining, excluding fast food MCC 5814, taxis, and club memberships. Now, if you're not a fan of air miles, credit cards, you don't want the hassle of, earning points and then redeeming all these HSBC reward points can also be converted to cashback at a rate of 2.5%. So that's the beauty of reward points. You don't necessarily have to convert to miles. Just go for the reward that suits your lifestyle, whether cashback or miles. I also have to mention that the spending cap that earn the points is at 1,000 Singapore dollars per month. So above this cap, you will not earn any bonus reward points or 10x points. But there is a caveat, because there is an enhanced tier where if you maintain 50,000 Singapore dollars in the HSBC Everyday Global account, you can actually double the points from 10x to 20x points, and that means 8 miles per dollar. How it works is that you need to maintain 50,000 Singapore dollars in average daily balance in the HSBC Everyday Global account. So it's like having an AUM, and with this 50k AUM, it will allow you to have an 8 miles per dollar earning tier, which is godlike, right? It's 2x 4 miles per dollar. That's probably the highest miles earning card right now. And not just that, your spend cap is increased from the previous $1,000 per month to $1,200 per month. So that's a 20% increase. So very good if you want to book like travel tickets, right? $1,200 is much more versatile than $1,000. So I guess that's where HSBC Revolution strength is. But you also have to consider the opportunity cost, because you're putting in cold hard cash $50,000 into a savings account, which is no longer as high interest as the previous, because HSBC EGA or the Everyday Plus Bonus program has already removed that 1% additional interest. So you're kind of locking up your funds like a 50k deposit just to have bonus points, like 2x the points. So you will need to calculate for your own situation whether that makes sense for you. And since everyone will value miles quite differently, I would say that for my personal calculation, I don't think it's worth it, but it may make sense to you. So you just have to do the calculation yourself. Now, there's something different for HSBC credit card applicants, because if you don't have a total relationship balance of at least $50,000 with them in the savings account or current account, you will need to have a minimum income of $65,000 per year to qualify to register and apply for their credit card. I'm not sure how strictly this is enforced, because this will probably be an issue for fresh grads who are just drawing their entry-level salaries. But that's the thing for you to take note. So something different from the previous Trust Cashback Card and Mari credit card is that HSBC Revolution, they do charge a foreign currency fee of 3.25%. I think that's the standard for normal credit cards. So should you use this card overseas, I would say that it depends on your own miles valuation. Do you think it's worth it paying 3.25% additional charge to earn you 10x points or 4 miles per dollar? Of course, I would say that differs from person to persons, but I would say if you can pay 3.25% to earn 8 miles per dollar, I think that's a very good deal. 4 miles per dollar may still make sense, but it is also slightly debatable based on your own personal valuation of miles. And that's because you also have to consider the opportunity cost. Like Mari credit card is already offering 0% FX fees, so that's like 3.25% safe plus that 1.5%. So the opportunity cost is a total of 4.75% for you to earn the same level to break even at least. So is HSBC Revolution a great card? I would say yes, especially if you're a miles chaser and you have at least $50,000 of average daily balance in the HSBC Everyday Global account. But the opportunity cost is slowly getting higher and higher. And we all know that miles redemptions are not as easy to redeem as in the past. So yeah, fingers crossed, hope that you all can earn the points and redeem your selected destinations. And we move on to our fourth credit card with no annual fees, and that is the UOB EVOL credit card. So UOB EVOL credit card is the highest headline cashback rate credit card on this list, because they are giving you 10% cashback. But where got so good give you 10%? Sure have some spend requirements, right? We'll take a look. Firstly, you get 10% cashback on local, online, mobile contactless, and selected gym, telco, and streaming categories. But you will need to hit a minimum spend of $800 per month to unlock that 10% cashback. Now let's dive into the terms and conditions. So there are two main cashback categories. One is the $30 cashback cap for the local, online, and mobile contactless spend. And the other category is the $20 cashback card for the selected gym, telco, and streaming spend. The last category is that 0.3% cashback, but we'll just not talk about it because it is such a low rate. So the total cap is $80 per month across all categories. But if we just remove the last category, it is around $50 cashback for $800 of spend. And that means an effective cashback of around 6.25%. But that's not all, because UOB EVOL also functions with zero FX fees, just like Mari credit card and Trust Cashback credit card. Not just that, but they also have 1% overseas spend cashback. So that's exactly like what Trust and Mari credit card is doing. They are a competitor with no FX fees and 1% cashback. And the good thing is there's no cap on this cashback, unlike Mari credit card. And this promo will only last till December 2026. Whether it will extend or not, we will wait and see. So if you ask me for the best optimization of the UOB EVOL credit card, I would say spend $300 on local, online, and mobile contactless spend so that you hit the $30 cashback cap. And then for the $20, you try and max it out $200 per month for your gym, your telco, and your streaming service. But if you don't max that out, it's okay. Don't lifestyle inflate because of that. Because of remaining spend, you can spend it on overseas spend, whether on overseas online shopping, or you go travel overseas, you go JB, Malaysia during the weekend. Yeah, just use the UOB credit card, zero FX fee plus 1% cashback to hit the remaining spend required to earn that $800 mean spend and to get a 10% cashback. I think that's a pretty good combo, right? So that's 4 credit cards already. I'm going to my final credit card, and that is the CIMB Visa Infinite card. So this card, it also has zero annual fees. Unlike other Visa Infinite cards where they usually have a huge annual fee because they want to attract the higher tier clients, but they also have an annual income requirement, which is $120,000 annual salary per year. So that's a hard requirement in order to qualify for this card. But what's the use of this card even? I think the main benefit is that you get 3 airport lounge passes per year with Dragon Pass. Now, 3 free airport lounge passes is nothing new. I think there are other credit cards offering it, but with a Visa Infinite card and zero annual fees. So it's not like every year you need to call in and waive fees and whatnot. You don't even need to call. You can just hold this card forever, and you can go to the airport lounge 3 times per year for yourself. Now, of course, this card has other benefits like 2% unlimited cashback on travel, overseas spend, and online spend on overseas currency. But not really worth it because of the FX fee, like I said. And there's even a minimum spend requirement of $2,000. So I think really don't make sense. If you want to do such high number of transactions, either you go with UOB EVOL credit card, which is 1% cashback, or if the spend criteria is below $1,500, you can go Mari credit card for overseas spend. So not necessarily you have to spend with this CIMB Visa Infinite. So I would say that this credit card is more for like you just want to hold a card that gives you free airport lounge every year, and you don't need to call in for waiver. But this is only if you hit the annual income requirement of $120,000 per year. So yes, if you forgot everything I just said, don't worry. I compiled all these 5 credit cards, their benefits, and what are their fees and their requirements into a cheat sheet that you can download for free on my Ko-fi shop. So it will be a free PDF. Don't need to pay me any money. But if you want to support my channel, you can help me scan the IBKR QR code, because this video is not sponsored. It will pay a small commission for every click I receive. So thank you to those who have clicked the link or scanned my QR code. So the whole thing about credit card game is that you don't just limit yourself to credit card with no annual fees. You just need one that's suitable for your lifestyle. And if you look at all these 5 credit cards, each one is suitable for a particular lifestyle. Like for Trust Cashback Credit Card, 15%, if you can consistently spend on that same preferred category, $2,000 every month, I think that's a good contender. Now, Mari credit card is for those who just want one credit card, don't need to think so much, don't need to think about any other things, and yeah, want to give your family member to use. I think that's the easiest to use. Then HSBC Revolution card is more for those miles chasers, and especially those who have 50k total relationship balance with HSBC to earn up to 8 miles per dollar. Then for UOB EVOL credit card is when you can hit consistently $800 monthly spend, plus you can hit all these cashback categories successfully. Lastly, for CIMB Visa Infinite, the hard requirement is the annual income, 120k, but with that, you can hold this card forever and go for your 3 airport lounge passes every year. So over the years, I applied and cancelled a lot of credit cards, and one of the things that really irked me is that I need to manually call in and listen to the voice agent and click the selection to cancel my credit card, which is becoming more and more frustrating. So I'm also minimalizing and downsizing my stack of credit cards to avoid this problem. But for these 5 credit cards, I really don't need to do anything. I can hold you forever and I don't need to inconvenience myself every year to waive the annual fees. So that's a good benefit that can, remove some noise in my life. I guess that's just part of growing up. When you're young, you can meddle a lot, you can min-max a lot, but in life, as you grow old, you need to be more intentional with your time other than obsessing with all these annual fees of these credit cards, which is so irritating. Yeah, but if you want to check out my video on the top miles credit card for this year, 2026, then I can refer you to watch this video on my top miles credit card for 2026 so that it can help you redeem your business class flight much faster right here.